Good morning. It's a beautiful Vancouver morning. The sun is shining and the weather is perfect for flying. We're going to be taking a Beaver from YVR up to the Alpine, just a little bit west and east of Vancouver, to a place called Phantom Lake. Beautiful silted glacial water. You're going to see the beautiful emerald color of the water. And we've got with us a special chef who's going to meet the challenge of our fisherman, who's going to catch something in this lake, and she's going to do a meal. Well, we've landed at Phantom Lake and we're just tucked away on the south side of a stream, the inlet flow to the lake. And listen, to our surprise, a couple planes are at the shore and they've stayed the night. They're able to give us some intel on what is going on at the lake. You guys stayed here last night, did you?
Yes, we did.
And
yes.
Okay, so pros and cons of Phantom Lake.
The bugs in the afternoon, and the pros are the tranquility and the emptiness. There's no one here, right? It's beautiful.
Did you do any fishing at all?
Yes, we did.
What did you catch?
We caught a few little alpine trout. Yeah.
And did you eat them?
No, we just let them go.
How'd you deal with the bugs?
They were fine. We just went out in the middle of the lake until they went away.
Oh, perfect, man, perfect.
Yeah.
So, do you plan on coming back here again?
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Abbotsford.
And what do you do for a living?
I have a construction business.
Great, how's business?
Good.
Excellent, man.
Good.
Well, there you have it, Phantom Lake, and it's not just for people that want to cook some great meals. It's for adventure seekers and people that want the solitude of being away from the busy life and fishing and enjoying the beautiful wilderness of British Columbia. We managed to make it to Phantom Lake, and I've got the fisherman and I've got the chef. And this is going to be a real challenge for him. You got to catch a fish in Phantom Lake, and you got to make a gourmet meal. We have limited supplies. You think you're going to be able to do it?
I am not 100% confident, but I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
I, on the other hand, am 100% confident, and if he chokes, we'll be having vegetarian. Today I'm going to make pan-seared trout with a warm blackberry and green tomato salsa, and some fire-roasted corn with a compound butter, and new potatoes with garlic and Asiago cheese.
We've never fished it before, so kind of still developing a strategy, but we're going to fly fish, probably by this inlet or outlet. Hopefully you can find some trout. But we'll probably start with like a black leech or maybe a dry fly. Who knows?
Hey, I'm so efficient that I'll be done long before. Everything we need is right here in this little Ziploc bag. There's enough to feed 4 people in here, other than the fish, which I'm hoping he will come through with. So yeah, I just pre-prepped my potatoes. I just par-cooked them. There's corn in here that's already been soaking in water, so I can grill it. It'll steam itself on the grill. I've got my diced up green tomatoes, diced up onions, diced up parsley, lemon slices, compound butter. We're good to go. So basically I'm here to relax while he fishes.
So you've obviously done this before because you pre-cooked the potatoes.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the reason you pre-cook the potatoes is they take forever to cook on the grill.
Yeah, it never
if
works.
You've ever tried. It never works. And they always stick to the tin foil, right? Unless you use a ton of oil. So what I do is I make a pouch out of parchment paper, make it like a little pocket, put the cooked par-seasoned potatoes in there, close it up, wrap it in foil, then throw it on.
Okay.
Shall I open this now?
Yeah, you can open it now.
Okay.
Okay, so we've caught a couple fish now, and we're gonna go over gutting the fish.
Okay.
So, we have a newbie here.
Yeah.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold it like this.
I can cook it, but I can't clean it.
With your thumb in its...
In here?
Yeah.
I'm left-handed. Does it matter which hand
No,
I
it doesn't
use?
matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
It is
Okay,
very
and then you're gonna insert the knife into the the
Facing
nether
this way?
wreath. Yep.
Right there?
Yep. That's perfect. And then be
All the
very
way up?
careful. Yeah, keep your thumb in here though.
What's that?
Now
so
that'll be
cut it
enough.
off?
Yeah, and what you want to do is like keep it angled up because you don't want to cut into.
Oh, the
so
meat.
angle it even more this way.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. And then you're just gonna work your way up.
I am clumsy.
Very good. And
to
then
keep my
there's 2
fingers.
fins here.
Yeah.
You kind of want to shoot the gap on those. Yep. Very good. And careful of your thumb. So as we get closer, you want to keep the knife angled back,
Okay.
so that way the blade is pointing up. Yep.
So,
And
is
you
that
want
your way of saying
you want
stop?
you want to cut all the way to the top, like up there.
So should I just move
Yeah,
my
you can.
thumb?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Do that. Yeah. So now is the kind of gross part where we
lovely.
just grab it and rip everything out. This is very very good.
Reminds me of being a kid. It's gross.
And just chuck it. Yeah, just chuck it.
Can I chuck it at Russ?
Yep. We can chuck it at the camera. Good toss. All right, so let's rinse it out a bit. So there's a couple key things that you want to do so it doesn't get that fishy flavor. Yeah, you see this pink lining? You want to take that out.
I'm such a pro. I got it all.
Okay, we zoomed in. You see this big red line in the bottom of the fish?
Yeah. You want that out?
That's the bloodline. Yeah, so what you do is with the knife,
Score it?
yeah, you score it, and then you can use the other end of the knife and just rub it all out.
Okay.
Almost all, yeah. What you want to do as well, when we caught the fish, we made a small incision on the gill so that it bleeds out and that keeps the quality of meat a lot better. That's perfect. That is one fresh looking fish.
So I'm making my potatoes on the grill, and if you notice, one of the problems when you make potatoes on the grill is A, your foil springs leaks all the time, which is annoying, and your potatoes always stick. So my trick for that is I make a little pouch out of parchment paper, stuff it with the potatoes and whatever seasonings you want. I par cook the potatoes so they don't take so long. And then I wrap the pouch, after I close the top, I wrap that in tin foil. And then your potatoes don't stick. You don't have to use as much oil, and you're less likely to spring a leak. Okay,
What?
so you were just you were just talking about butter. You want taste this butter. It's the best butter you'll ever have.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good, hey?
Yeah, what's in there?
It's butter, Dijon mustard, a little bit of, I made aioli, or you can use mayonnaise if you don't want to make your own aioli, and a little bit of garlic and parsley.
Parsley's green.
So we're going to put that on the corn and put it as the base for the salmon.
I could eat it with a spoon.
I know, it's good, hey?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I've got coarse French sea salt. I always use coarse salt, so you can use kosher salt or sea salt. That way you don't over salt. You can see how much salt you're putting on. So I just put some on the outside, some on the inside, do the other side. Kind of rub it in a little bit. Grab your lemon slices that were inside the little shore cooking pack. Slip your lemon slices in. Now I'm putting butter in the pan, but because butter doesn't have a very high burning point, and I didn't want the hassle of having to bring some oil, I'm going to just put the butter in at the very last minute or it'll burn. So I brought some regular butter, but I'm going to use a bit of my compound butter also. So it's a really big pan, so I'm putting quite a bit of butter in. Look how hot that is. Crazy. And it's okay when it goes a little burnt, a little brown like that. It basically is like a brown butter sauce. Throw in your fish. Don't touch them. If they're sticking at the bottom still, that means that they're not ready to be moved. If you have to force them, they're not ready to be moved. So it's usually for trout of this size, it's usually about 4 minutes per side, depending on the heat. Now this is very hot. I've had my pan prepping in here for a while. So we'll just give it a little bit. So cast iron really is ideal on a campfire, especially if you're not worried about aesthetics, because it won't show all the burn marks. This is a very heavy bottomed stainless steel pan. They work fantastic. Unfortunately, it's going to be very hard to clean afterwards, so it will have to be relegated as your campfire pan, but it's good to have a good quality pan. If your pan's too thin, everything's going to burn, and really your pan won't last very long. Campfire cooking is difficult on, or hard on utensils, so. Okay, so it's been about a minute or two, so I'm just going to give a flip because I have no way of knowing what the actual temperature of this pan is, and I don't want to burn it. Look at that. Is you can just do the touch test. If it's really, really soft, like the inside of your thumb here, so if you hold your fingers like that, your thumb to your pinky, if you touch that, it's a little bit firmer than if your hand's just open. This would be raw. This would be better cooked, but you don't want to overcook it. There's nothing worse than dry fish. You never want fish to touch anything that's going to be touching our corn or bread or potatoes or whatever, any kind of meat. So I put a little bit in a separate container. I'm going to brush this butter because you don't want to burn the parsley that's inside of it. It's nice to have that nice and fresh. So this will just baste it in some more flavor. And you caught us some damn big trout here. So if they were little tiny trout, they would cook quite a bit faster. Oh, look how crispy and nice that skin is. But see how it's just browning? It's not burning. That's what you want. So I'll give it a little touch test. This side is perfect. It's just what you want. Brush a little butter there. Firm up the other side a little bit, and we're good to go.
That trout, that campfire trout's unbelievable, okay? Sandor, is that what you do when you're doing survival man in the bush? Does your trout end up being as good as that?
Russ, I can't lie to you. I'm not up to this caliber yet when I'm out cooking by myself, but I don't go hungry usually because I usually catch fish, but I won't be eating it at this level of deliciousness, no.
Okay, so far we've made our trout, but I'm realizing now I didn't have much faith in Chandra. I was not expecting them to be this large, so I am not equipped with the proper plate to serve this on. What are you to do? Got extra firewood that's nice and thin here. Chandra's out there washing it off in the lake, and I'm going to use those as my platters. I'm going to set them aside to let the juices reincorporate into the meat, and while it's doing that, I'm going to make my really quick warm blackberry and green tomato salsa. Blackberries I picked here while Chandra was out fishing, which has worked out nicely. Okay.
And today's shore lunch, we have chosen a Chardonnay from Napa Valley called Hoopla. The Chardonnay Hoopla.
Perfect. And what kind of wine is this?
This is a Chardonnay, Napa
Very
Valley.
nice. Cheers. Gotta love the classy wine glasses when we're cooking on the shore, hey?
Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, it's good. It's got a bit of a smoky back taste to it. It's gonna be really nice with this. So, our fish is done. Our pan is smoking hot, so you have to be really careful. I'm just gonna, which is gonna make this flame, I'm gonna get some of the excess dark butter out of the pan so I can go ahead and make my warm salsa. So these are the blackberries that I picked while I was waiting for our fish. And all we do is take the same compound butter, again, put it in at the very last minute because this is very hot and it can burn really, really quickly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the onions and the butter in at the same time. That'll help cool the temperature of the pan so our butter doesn't burn. Because the excess moisture will cool down the pan. So that's onions. And we've got our green tomato diced up. I'm gonna put a little bit more butter. Pinch of salt. Not too much because there's already salt in the butter. So you just want to cook this long enough that the green tomatoes soften. But again, we want this to be a warm salsa. We do not want it to be a fully cooked sauce or chutney. You can do that if you choose to. There is no garlic in here. I thought the garlic flavor would overpower the taste of the really delicate trout, so I thought I'd skip the garlic. The taste. And it's perfect, so it's still got some crunch to it because that's what you want. You just don't want it to be hard. You throw your blackberries in at the last minute. Now I like to add just a little bit of sugar. I find it brings out the flavor of the blackberries. It's completely optional. You don't have to do this. I find it adds a very, very big difference to the flavor. So I just do 3 pinches. It's not very much. Okay, so now just go over here. I'm gonna balance this. I wanna get it off the heat. I don't want it to cook anymore. Just spread that on top of your trout. I'm gonna put this off to the side so it'll stay warm, but if anybody would like some extra, it's not gonna burn. And I brought in my handy dandy little shore cooking pouch, a little bit of diced parsley. I don't like to put it in earlier because I find it really kills the flavor of the parsley. Little parsley, and there you go. So we're done. This is our pan-seared freshwater lake caught trout with a warm blackberry and green tomato salsa. And it's stuffed with lemons, and we have our corn over there, which we can peel ourselves and brush with our compound butter. And the little potato pouches, which I've put off to the side, which I'll set out in just a second. And there's our complete meal. Easy peasy.
So Sandor, what do you think about the meal that that Ange has cooked up? Give me some comments. What are you saying?
I think this is just as good as anything you'd get in a very expensive restaurant.
What are the things you like most about it?
The salsa was phenomenal. Went really well with the trout. Would not have thought that it would. Like, you don't typically think, you know, berries, trout, I guess. Well, I don't. But it was delicious. Perfect.
Is this something you might make on your own on one of your survival courses?
Definitely going to pull this out on a date to impress. So there were a lot of cannibalistic fish today in the lake. So we went with small minnow looking patterns. Is that focus? Small minnow looking patterns. Also classic like dock spratlys. Didn't go to any of the dries. Didn't see a lot of activity on top, but I mean those are your pretty much go-tos. Minnows, woolly buggers, that kind of stuff. Always going to catch a fish.
Learned a really good secret from cleaning pans as well from Angela. After we were finished for cleanup, we put some water in the frying pan, and to the water we added salt and some lemons, and then just let it boil on the fire for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and then when we emptied the water out, the pan was virtually clean. So it's a really easy way of cleaning your pan at the campfire. If you got some sticky stuff on it, there was some sugar in that recipe, so the pan was a bit sticky. So just put some water, salt and lemon, boil it for 12 minutes, you got a clean pan. Okay, well, we've finished our feast and we're ready to head back to civilization. Campsite is cleaned up and the fire is put out. Sandor is going to push us off. Sandor, do you want to give the plane a push?
Yep.